27 minutes onto the 7 o'clock hour. This is where we say good morning to you, Grenada, Carrier, Cupidi, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the rest of the world. It's good morning, Grenada, for today, Tuesday, the 20th day of May, 2025. That's the year. Indeed, a good day to have a good day in a good way. Yeah. Hoping everyone is having a wonderful morning thus far, and that you had a great night's rest, and that you're all up and ready to face the challenges of this brand new day. And trust me, it's a challenge, yeah? Life can be challenging. Yeah. Lovely, 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 lovely. So happy to be with you this morning once again.
Holy Spirit.
Good morning, Jillian McIntyre, Jennifer Lawrence, Yolan Swan.
Holy Spirit, take my soul.
Monica Meros Williams, all of you wonderful folks, good morning to you. So good to have you with us this morning. Good morning to the folks on the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, the Grenadine Islands. Good morning, Joan Brathwaite Batson. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? I want to start off this morning with my quote from my good friend, Apostle something. Can't remember the correct name, but nonetheless, it's a good day to have a good day. Tuesday blessings. But he answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." And that's quoted from Matthew 4, verse 4. May God be with you, give you rest, answer you, sustain you, strengthen you, protect you, and bless you and your family tremendously in Christ Jesus' mighty name. Good morning. Have a lovely day. Same to you, Rev. Good morning. Have a blessed and fruitful Tuesday. A morning is a wonderful blessing, either cloudy or sunny. It stands for hope, giving us another start in what we call life. Yeah. Good morning, Laureen. How are you doing? Hope you're doing fine. Hope you're doing good. Good morning, Erlin, as well. 24 minutes until 7. Let's head into the word of the day. That word today is malignant. Malignant. M-A-L-I-G-N-A-N-T. Malignant. That is a word that some folks are very scared of. Yeah, it's a scary word. If you visit a doctor, especially an oncologist, and they tell you that this thing is malignant, it's a worrisome. So malignant, it means harmful or malevolent. Here's how we can use it in a sentence. The malignant tumor required immediate attention. Surgery most times, chemotherapy, some sort of treatment. I do hope that Joe Biden's diagnosis with prostate cancer is not malignant. I hope the cells are not getting on out of hand and that it can be treated.
We are living in
yeah. Nice. Morning, Debbie and everybody. Good morning. So happy to be with you again. Sylvina Charles, good morning. Reverend Caesar, good morning. Coming from the southern Grenadines. Eulin, how are you doing? You alright? Nice. Nadisha, good morning. Miss B, good morning to you. Good morning to my wonderful folks in Mount Nesbitt, as always. Guave, Sunset City of Victoria. Good morning to the folks on the bay in Duquesne. Natalia Ross, good morning. Nadisha, the motivational tip of the day is up next. Take action, not just ideas. Ideas are only valuable when you act on them. Turn your thoughts into real tangible steps. Yeah. Stop just thinking things, see, alright? You think and you dream big. As my friend in the US would say, you dream and you think bigly. It takes more than that. You don't put them into action. Put the thoughts into action. Yeah. Moya, good morning. Carrier. Lower and Upper St. John. Good morning, Speaker of the House, Leo Cato. Good morning, Papi. How you doing? The Bella Government School. Good morning to the principal and staff. Yep. The Christian Academy, inside of Pearls. Good morning, Mago. How you doing? Hope you're doing fine. I know you're still taking on, the loss of my good friend. Be strong. Yeah.
Holy Spirit,
let the Holy Spirit take control.
Holy Spirit, fill my soul.
Good morning, Lassa Jess, Corinth, Syracuse, Providence, Dudma, Thebaid, Central, Bellevue. Tayo, good morning to you and the lady, man. And right next, a good morning to the Regis and the Thomas families. Mando, good morning. How you doing? I ain't seen you, boy. Hope all is well. Those of you in the diaspora, good morning. Don't feel left out, okay? Please don't.
Take me to a higher place.
Nutmeg Queen, good morning to you. Cena Nichols' name showing up. I know is that. All right, quickly, let's see what's buzzing this morning. What's happening? All right. The government signs technical cooperation agreement with the People's Republic of China. That's happening today. In the region, lawyer slams police for twisting facts in the Adriana Young case. That's in Guyana. Internationally, Israel lets aid into Gaza after 11-week blockade, but UN calls it a drop in the ocean. And in sports, the British High Commission and the Ministry of Youth and Sports host Commonwealth cricket competition. We've got the details to these and so much more coming up in our AM edition. That comes up in just a short.
My God is worthy to be praised.
Cloge is in the building. Abigail Moses, good morning to you. Dane Henry, Mary E. Banks, destined to win overcomer. Thank you. Have a blessed day yourself. Can't see my people as I normally do, man. Facebook changed up the setting again. Good morning to someone who left us yesterday and went back to the US. Hope you had a safe flight. Hope you're locked in as always. Good morning to you. Lovey, good morning. How are you doing? So remember that it's a good day to have a good day in a good way, despite what you're going through, all right? Gigi Giles, good morning to you and Denzo. Hope all you're doing all right. Nice. I can tell you it's going to be a busy morning here today on the conversation. I've got two gentlemen from the CSME desk, Mr. Leo Titus Prevail, and along with Mr. Aaron Moses, talking CSME, some new implementations. I've got some folks from the Rastafarian community coming up. It's busy, but that's good. Folks, the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather comes up right after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
A Attention all divers, snorkelers and underwater enthusiasts. Effective May 15th, 2025, all visitors to the renowned Mullinair Underwater Sculpture Park will be required to pay a small fee of US $3.50 or EC $10 per person. These fees are essential to support the ongoing maintenance and repairs of the sculptures, as well as the development of new features to ensure the park remains a world-class attraction. Payment can be made through the Grenada Tourism Authority's online payment portal, available on the Pure Grenada website, www.puregrenada.com. We thank you for your support in enhancing this extraordinary underwater product. This announcement is brought to you by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, dedicated to protecting and conserving Grenada's resources for the enjoyment of all.
ACB's me, start, manage, expand. Don't call me small. I'm dreaming big. I'm gonna have it all. ACB's me, start, manage, expand. They came on all my competition, got the whole bag's attention. ACB, best financial solution. My business has a good reputation. Ready for success? Call us at 444-4919 or visit us at acbonline.com to learn more. ACB's me. Start, manage, expand your business today.
This is the GBN Morning News for today, Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Coming up in the news, the government signs technical cooperation agreement with the People's Republic of China. A lawyer slams police for twisting facts in Adriana Young's case in Guyana. That's on the regional scene. Internationally, Israel lets aid into Gaza after 11-week blockade, but the UN calls it a drop in the ocean. And in sports, the British High Commission and Ministry of Youth and Sports host Commonwealth cricket competition. We've got the details to these and more after these messages.
Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm committed to us?
She made me feel some measure of warmth, maybe even passion.
If I decide to do this, I'll be doing it for you, no one else.
Labukan presents Rivals, playing at Labukan Creative Center, GCNA Complex, all weekends in May, Saturdays 8 p.m., Sundays 6 p.m., and Deluxe Cinema Grenville, Saturday, June 7, 8 p.m. Tickets from Grenadian Optical, Labukan, St. Andrew's Pharmacy, and Go to Fit at $75. Sponsors Bryden & Miners Limited, Knights Auto, Sandals, GBN, Republic Bank, Trios Auto, Coop Bank, and Huggins. It's Rivals by Francis Urias Peters. Don't you miss it.
You better come back, boy. You better come back. Back.
Good morning. With the details, I am Gordon Joseph. Monday's handover of the upgraded airport runway and road upgrade and rehabilitation project marked phase one of the need for continued investment, renewal, upgrade and renovation of the Maurice Bishop International Airport. That's according to Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, speaking against the backdrop that the MBIA is entering into its 41st year since construction.
We mark this occasion bearing in mind, as I said, the fact that the Maurice Bishop International Airport in 2025 is celebrating its 41st year in existence. The airport was originally opened in 1984 and was built in large measure with significant support and sacrifice from our brothers and sisters from Cuba. And I think we all know our history, and therefore we all appreciate not just the economic, but the social and political significance of this airport. And hence it's been named after our former Prime Minister, Maurice Bishop. But like all physical investments, if we do not take care of it, nurture it, and reinvest in it, like all physical things, it can and will decay, and its ability to serve its functions will be significantly compromised. And so the need to continue the investment and the upgrade in this facility is critical.
The Minister for Civil Aviation reiterated the fact that the Maurice Bishop International Airport is our gateway to our regional brothers and sisters and international partners.
We would not have the dynamic, practical, fraternal relations as demonstrated today with the People's Republic of China if we did not have a Maurice Bishop International Airport. It would make it significantly more challenging to get to and from Grenada, and significantly more challenging to engage in the practical cooperation that His Excellency spoke of, that has blossomed over the last 20 years since the resumption of diplomatic ties between the government and people of Grenada and the government and people of the People's Republic of China. And so our airport is not just symbolic, but it is, in a fundamental sense, one of the key institutions to Grenada's growth and development over the last 40 years, and will play an even more pivotal role in Grenada's growth and development over the next 40 years to come.
Meanwhile, the government of Grenada and the People's Republic of China is today signing another technical agreement. This agreement will take place at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, making it the 15th agreement to be signed between both parties this year alone. This was announced by Chinese Ambassador to Grenada, His Excellency Wei Hongshan, who did not divulge much details surrounding the agreement.
I'm happy to announce that I am going to sign another new economic and technical cooperation with Grenadian government.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, during yesterday's handover of the airport's expansion and road upgrade project, expressed his gratitude to the Chinese ambassador on behalf of the people and government of Grenada.
This year, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, paid a very successful visit to China. And during the visit, we signed 14 cooperation agreements, cooperation documents. One of them is that economic and
14 agreements were signed between St. George's and Beijing on the visit of Prime Minister Mitchell to China in January. The Chinese ambassador, elaborating on his country's cooperation with friends or partners, said it is based on mutual respect, mutual benefits, and equality. The ambassador noted that China provides different kinds of assistance based on the needs and requests of the individual country.
The mutual cooperation agreement signed between the government of Grenada and the government of China are all designed towards doing just that, improving the lives and livelihoods of our people. And so, Ambassador, I will give an early comment of gratitude and appreciation ahead of the signing of the second and new Economic and Technical Cooperation Agreement tomorrow morning, and place on record our deep gratitude and appreciation for this. It demonstrates the continued commitment of China to supporting Grenada.
And finally, the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season is approaching, and already the first tropical wave of the 2025 season has moved off the coast of West Africa. The National Hurricane Center's Tropical Analysis and Forecast branch shared via its official account on X that the first tropical wave of 2025 was analyzed on Sunday. It stated that while tropical cyclone development is not anticipated with this wave at this time, these waves can still produce heavy rain and gusty winds. The official Atlantic hurricane season begins in 2 weeks on June 1st. That concludes the local segment of news. So with us, the regional and international developments along with the sports and the weather. They're straight ahead. Turning our attention now to the region, Attorney at Law Dexter Todd is pushing back against claims from the Guyana Police Force, the GPF, asserting that his recent press statement regarding the investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young was rooted in facts, not personal opinion, and was consistent with observations made by the international expert involved in the case. Todd also reiterated his long-standing concern over a lack of transparency in the investigation. From day one, I have been asking for the name of the lead investigator in this matter. To date, no such name has been provided, he added. The attorney's remarks came after the GPF accused him of deliberately misrepresenting the efforts from Adriana's father, Subrian Young, in connection with her death. The police said multiple attempts were made between April 24th and May 16th to engage Mr. Young, both directly and through legal representatives, but they allegedly did not comply. Looking further afield, Russia and Ukraine will immediately start ceasefire negotiations, Donald Trump says, after a 2-hour call with Vladimir Putin. We have more in this report.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says he had a, quote, very meaningful and quite frank call with US President Donald Trump. It lasted more than 2 hours. But overall, Vladimir Putin's message seems not to have changed. Speaking after the call, he repeated his mantra that a peace deal needs to, quote, remove the root causes of this crisis. That's a reference to Russia's demand for wide-ranging influence over Ukraine, something Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has rejected.
And finally, on the international scene, Israel says it has allowed 5 UN lorries carrying humanitarian aid, including baby food, into the Gaza Strip after 11 weeks of blockade. The UN's humanitarian chief welcomed the move, but stressed it was only a drop in the ocean of what is urgently needed by the 2.1 million Palestinians in the war-torn territory, where global experts are warning of a looming famine. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his decision to temporarily let in a minimal amount of food followed pressure from allies in the U.S. Senate. Netanyahu said food deliveries will continue only until the Israel military and private companies had set up hubs to distribute aid under a U.S.-backed plan rejected by the UN. He also declared that Israeli forces would take control of all areas of Gaza as part of the expanded ground offensive against Hamas that the Israeli military began on Sunday. That's the regional and international news. The sporting highlights are straight ahead, followed by the weather. Good morning, sporting fans. The best cricket players from primary schools across the country proudly represented the parish. This gender-inclusive activity ensured that there were at least 2 girls on each team. The teams went up against each other in 10-over matches with an attempt to qualify for the finals. St. Andrew and St. David won their respective semi-final matches and moved on to the finals, where St. David emerged victorious. The activity, organized by the British High Commission in St. George's in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, was aimed at providing an opportunity to showcase and improve the skills of young and upcoming cricketers throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Additionally, physical activities such as cricket help to promote a healthy lifestyle and help promote sport and teamwork in general. In an effort to support ongoing training and development of skills, the British High Commission, who also donated cricket kits to each of the participating teams, Minister for Youth and Sports Honourable Delma Thomas joined resident British High Commissioner Victor Clark to hand over the kits. The game of cricket remains one of the most loved and popular games played among Commonwealth member states, and the High Commission is committed to supporting wherever possible, resident British High Commissioner to Grenada Victor Clark said. What better way to celebrate our friendship as Commonwealth partners than through our shared passions for cricket? This event was delayed from Commonwealth Day. That's all the sports we have at this time. We'll have more sports for you during our luncheon edition and, of course, at our prime time. That's the sports. The weather forecast is up next.
Whether you're refreshing a bedroom or giving your home a bold new look, the Color Shop has the perfect paint and tools to make it happen, inside and out. With quality finishes for every surface and accessories to match, we make painting easy from start to finish. Whether it's a DIY weekend or a contractor starting a brand new project, the Color Shop is the trusted choice.
For the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster Jonathan Price at the forecast desk at the MBIA. Good morning, Jonathan, in your newly refurbished airport.
Good morning to you and good morning, listeners. Here is the weather for today, Tuesday the 20th of May 2025, as recorded at the Morris Bishop International Airport. It is currently cloudy with showers in the vicinity. Winds are coming from the southeast at 15 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is 1013.8 millibars, which is above normal and rising. Present temperature is 28.2 degrees Celsius and relative humidity 79%. Yesterday's maximum was 30.9 degrees Celsius and the minimum last night 27.6 degrees Celsius. Only a trace of rainfall was recorded over the past 24 hours, hence the total for the month remains at 40.8 millimeters. And now for the public forecast for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique Valley for today and tonight. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy with slight haze, becoming cloudy at times with light to moderate showers. Hence, there is a warning for a low chance of flooding in areas so prone. Today's max will be 30.5 degrees Celsius with winds easterly to southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas will be moderate with waves 5 to 7 feet in easterly swells. Hence, a small craft advisory is also in effect. Low tide will be at 2:30 p.m. and high tide at 10:30 p.m. Sunset will be at 6:25 and sunrise at 5:41. Just to repeat the public forecast for today and tonight, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy with slight haze, becoming cloudy at times with light to moderate showers. From the forecast of Morris Bishop International Airport, I'm Jonathan Price. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Have yourself a wonderful day likewise. Folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick & Thompson Company Limited.
Shop with confidence at Courts. Get the lowest prices guaranteed. Get appliances, furniture, electronics, and so much more. If you find a lower price on any other products elsewhere, we'll match the price. Plus, we'll give you back 110% of the difference. Shop with confidence only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
It's 3 minutes after 7 o'clock. To end the news, a recap of the headlines. Government to sign technical cooperation agreement with the People's Republic of China today. In the region, we hear that lawyer slams police for twisting facts in the Adriana Young case in Guyana. Internationally, Israel lets aid into the Gaza after 11-week blockade, but the UN calls it a drop in the ocean. And in sports, the British High Commission and the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they hosted the Commonwealth Cricket Competition. That has been the morning edition of news for today, Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. On behalf of the entire news department, I'm Gordon Joseph, thanking everyone for listening and viewing, wishing you a productive day, be safe, and invite you to keep it locked to the network because we are with you anywhere and everywhere.
Hey parents! We all know children don't come with manuals, but you can step up your parenting game. Join the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Grenada National Council of the Disabled for an incredible series of community engagement. Discover essential topics like child abuse prevention, understanding discipline versus punishment, building healthy relationships, mastering parenting in the electronic era. Catch us in your community nightly from 6 to 8, starting in the community of River Sally on Monday, May 12th at the River Sally Government School, Tuesday, May 13th at the Mount Horn Community Center, Wednesday, May 14th at the Willis Community Center, on Monday, May 19th at the Anglican Government School in the community of St. John, and in the community on St. David on Tuesday, May 20th at the Pomrose School. Enhance your parenting skills and create a brighter future for your children. Join us and step up today. Brought to you by the Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs.
Served Grenada for decades, we are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
Grenada is indeed beautiful and worth exploring. We firmly believe that you should be allowed to do so. Why not explore Grenada with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours? Whether you decide to explore Grenada with your family, spouse, or large group of friends, we are ready to welcome you. Our tours are guaranteed to leave you with wonderful memories of Grenada if you are visiting and excitement if you live here. Book a tour with us now by visiting our website www.jamessvcs.com. Call 1473-442-3769 or email info@jamessvcs.com. James Services Corp Off-Road Tours.
I am Dennis James Williams, owner and director of James Services Corp. Looking forward to welcoming you to the beautiful island of Grenada to explore with James Services Corp Off-Road Tours. See you soon.
Explore our beautiful island of Grenada from an angle that is unique and off-road, but equally fun. We are 100% family-friendly tours.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm committed to us?
She made me feel some measure of warmth, maybe even passion.
If I decide to do this, I'll be doing it for you, no one else.
Labukan presents Rivals, playing at Labukan Creative Center, GCNA Complex, all weekends in May, Saturdays 8 p.m., Sundays 6 p.m., and Deluxe Cinema Grenville, Saturday, June 7, 8 p.m. Tickets from Grenadian Optical, Labukan, St. Andrew's Pharmacy, and Go to Fit at $75. Sponsors Bryden & Miners Limited, Knights Auto, Sandals, GBN, Republic Bank, Trios Auto, Co-op Bank, and Huggins. It's Rivals by Francis Urias Peters. Don't you miss it.
You break a come back, boy. You break a come back. Back. What a flow, what a flow. What a flow. What a flow. Come on. What a flow, what a flow. What a flow. What a flow. The water put it just like a freestyle. The life blood flowing mile by mile. It's legacy. A beat that don't stop like Bob Marley said. One love on top. The sewage water out of sight. But it's always wrong, don't lose the light. From factories and wells so deep. Corals, mangroves and fish they weep. Grey water for the garden, keep it green. Save the cash and the earth gets clean. We use the water with a mindful mind. It's out of sight but never far behind. In nature, the answers always flow. Like water running pure, the cycle grows. It renews itself, same drop, same beat. It's all good, man, you got the heat. Water flow, water flow. No clean water, no pipes to grow. Protect our water, protect our future.
Time to go.
Sporting fans, ready yourselves for the most anticipated Winston-Tide Games, June 7th and 8th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come support our athletes as they compete with some of the region's best in the field events and on the tracks. Save the date, June 7th and June 8th, Winston-Tide Games at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Stay tuned for more info. Winston-Tide Game 2025.
Heritage Theatre presents Breaking Out, the Grenada Love Story, featuring Robert White and Lisa Grappi, written and directed by Chris DeRiggs.
But I still love you, Richie.
You love me and you're hard me. 4 big performances, Saturday 24th and Sunday 25th May at the Grenada Trade Center, Saturday 31st May and Sunday 1st June at Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime 7 p.m. sharp.
He's the love of my life, Auntie. You have to marry a man for other things besides love, child.
Get your tickets at Mitchell's Pharmacy in Grand Anse, Gittins Health and Wellness Wall Street, Gabriel's Pharmacy Pedmata, St. David Pharmacy, St. Andrew Pharmacy, Art and Soul Boutique at Spiceland Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, and GoToFed.com. Breaking Out. Come out and enjoy Grenadian theater at its best.
This ad complements Classic Lighting Caribbean.
Welcome, viewers and listeners, to the first leg in that conversation this morning. Of course, you can see that laugh or that smile that is protruding from my face. It's because of Breaking Out. And the main man behind Breaking Out this morning from Heritage Theatre is none other than my good friend. I could bestow what I want upon him, Dr. Christopher DeRiggs.
Good morning, Dr. Joseph. I guess we're all doctors. We're all doctors this morning.
And I sick, huh? Yeah, how are you doing, bro?
Good. And it's a great pleasure to be here and to sit in your company and, in the GBN family situation. I shout out to Janelle.
Yeah.
Quite a fantastic lady and human being, and
that's an understatement, though.
Yes, well,
Okay, it is an understatement.
And I want to
is much more than that.
I want to kind of shout out joke. We can he's miserable, you understand? But
that too is an understatement. Two extremes.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. Yes.
I must confess that if that commercial was a song, it would have been my rude match.
Well, maybe you're you're providing somebody with a business idea, by saying that you could take that. You love it, man, you're horning.
You love me and you're horning me?
Right,
listen, I don't know. This thing is just, I have to be careful at what time do I play this commercial. I have to play it early in my slot so that I don't go back on the mic laughing.
Maybe we should just put it on a polo shirt.
Maybe.
And merchandise the thing. You love
monetize it, yeah. Monetize the thing. With a Robert face, Robert and his comical face,
if
man.
I see anybody, it's our idea.
Yeah. All right. Tell us, Breaking Out. Tell us about Breaking Out, how it came about, and the actual putting together of that production.
the breaking out is, I choose to call it a story of love rather than a love story. You see, love stories have a kind of cliche quality about it, and you tend to get caught up in the same kind of situation, the characters, the conflict, the resolution of the conflict. This one is broader than that, and it's but love is a universal concern, and we don't remember how deep, how fundamental the whole love is as a concern. It's what the preachers are preaching about. It's what the teachers are teaching about. It's what the writers are writing about. It's what the singers are singing about. And some people, might feel they're not getting enough love. Some might feel they're being loved in the wrong way. And so this particular story was our attempt to deal with a theme that is ever present, ever universal, sometimes hiding in plain sight because it's something that consumes our existence, and sometimes we don't even remember that it's all about love. And so in the particular case, we are looking at a young couple who get married, and the relationship is affected by what we call a man-made disaster, which is October 1983, and a natural disaster, Hurricane Ivan. So it's a relationship that is held in a sense, a kind of parenthesis of two disasters, and I won't say more.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I just can't get over this. But to come up with this, right? It has to take a lot of creativity juices. Your creative juices have to be running really deep, and not just putting it together, but also identifying the appropriate cast members to suit the roles that they play. I mean, how do you do that?
Well, unfortunately, the people who I work with in theatre represent a wide variety of acting talent, and also they span different generations. So some are young, some are not so young, and some are on the more senior side. I wouldn't say they're old. Right, and so we have the acting talent. Typically, an idea hits me, and I become obsessed with the idea. I go very quiet and work on it with a certain degree of obsession until I think I have something which I can share with people. So I share it with my family. I share it with the cast of my repertoire of actors in Heritage Theatre Company, and so it gets exposed that way. And I ask them to criticize the story without mercy. Look at the structure of the story. Look at a story has different. If you look at the anatomy of story, it's like a human being, right, and so on. So you can dissect it, and we do that in a critical way, and try to identify, the weaknesses, how it can be strengthened. So we look at the story or the plot. We look at the characters. We're very big on character because I have a very profound belief that characters drive stories. And I've often said that if a story will turn out one way or another, depend on the characters, right, and so on. So a man who is struggling with an alcohol addiction issue, right, you don't expect him to all of a sudden, right, be doing something that is generous and selfless and so on. He has to struggle to overcome. So that kind of struggling to overcome is driven by the fact that this man is of a certain character, and so on. So this is the way we do it. A collective kind of criticism process, we review and we develop. We always try to be fresh. What are people thinking about? What are they discussing in the market square? in church before service starts, or even when church is going, when service is going on.
Yes.
What people make a little hypocrisy about, and that's who are we, as a people? What occupies our mind? So we try to be current, we try to be fresh, and we try to be relevant. You see, so that's part of the whole creative process that we use.
So without divulging too much, to the viewing and listening audience out there, a family comes to breaking out on one of the weekends, what they would leave with?
They are going to be forced, right, to think about what are the limits of love. Can people love selflessly? I think that is what will hit them in the most profound way. And if they leave with that, I will be satisfied. But there are things that they, will take away. Different individuals take away different things. Some people take away the lighter side. There's a character in this play called Uncle Freddy, and that's played by Halim Abdul-Wali. And some people will leave all they're thinking about is Uncle Freddy. Uncle Freddy, he's humorous, but he's full of deep philosophical thoughts and questions. He gives an account of where he was during Hurricane Ivan and how he got out of a situation, which some people always remember that, right? There's a character who, Damien, he works on a cruise ship and comes home after the hurricane. And Damien was played by Shawn Sylvester when we first staged this play in 2019. Unfortunately, Shawn passed away. But he was such a charming presence on the stage. Now we have Karim Alexis.
Jesus Christ.
Karim Alexis is a character, Damien. And his presence is a memorable one, because you see him going through an agonizing process and trying to come to grips with a situation he has found himself in. We are, and there's the kind of profound thought that we are all caught up in our little prisons. Every day we wake up, we go through life, we have the struggles to confront, our devils to overcome, and so on. So what was Karim's devil? And of course, what was Robert's devil? Yeah, Robert had a jihad. He had to fight to overcome his situation. So people will leave with a deep feeling of empathy for the characters and the little prisons, the kind of situations they find themselves in, and their struggles to overcome these situations. The dilemmas.
As the playwright, do you always write a play that would have a particular impact that you want to reach the audience? So, for example, this one, people would get to understand the dynamics of love, real love, what love, how love. Do you always write with that intent, a particular intent? I want to get this historical information out, and you do it dramatically or also?
Well, as I said before, when we do plays, we try to be relevant. And I think it's something that my colleagues in theatre, Ricardo, Urias, and so on, we all try to be relevant. We try to come with something that adds value, not just entertainment value, but something that can enrich the lives of our patrons. I visualize, who I'm writing for. Writers can be self-indulgent, and they can write and do something just to, please themselves. I try to straddle both sides. Something that is spiritually and satisfying to me, but something also that does something to add value to the lives of our patrons. So that helps to guide me as to my choice of subject. I try to try to resolve issues or pose important questions, so that when people leave the theatre, they go through. There's something we call a catharsis, where you change in the process of an experience. So we hope people will take the journey with us through the play, and they have their own catharsis. They go through and sometimes you still can emerge with a feeling of lightness, not just because you laugh a lot, but because something has been resolved. Or sometimes you emerge thinking more about your own situation. So it's all about, as I said, being relevant, and we have done historical dramas. We have done Julian. I almost said Julius Caesar, right? Next playwright, right? That one, right? Julian Fedon. So we felt that there was an information gap on this very important period in Grenada's history, right? We have done The Fire to Dance, which dealt with the 70s, the period of black power, cultural nationalism, and, the consciousness that was being awakened in the people, and some of the characters involved in that struggle. And there was a love story involved in that too, right? So we select something that we feel that, we can fill a gap, an information gap, and so on. And I wouldn't say anything more, but before the year is over, I have another big play coming. Right, and it's a subject that is hiding in plain sight. People ask, how come nobody didn't write about that before, or brought it to theatre?
Okay.
All right.
So we have to look forward to that one coming.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Concerns that quite a number of people called subsequently the ad running and so forth. Availability of space for performance. All right, the Trade Center is fine, but the folks in Grenville are lamenting that the Deluxe Cinema is usually very quickly filled to capacity. How is that affecting you?
Well, we tend to work with the spaces that are available to us. Deluxe Cinema, I think it seats up to 300. Last year we did a comedy show, and the place was filled even before the show started. And as a result of that, we are doing 2 shows because we realized the demand was greater than the supply at the time. And so we try to adjust to suit the market demand. And so if a space is small, as we used to run plays in Marishaw House maybe sits 200, and so we actually used to run a play for 4 weekends, or 5 or 6, it depends on, we hold it over on if there was by popular demand kind of thing. Trade Center is a big space, and it's logistically challenging to do shows in a big space. So we try to adjust with sound and lights and so on. Yes, if you look at St. Andrews, there is a cultural center that is being created. It has been in the works for a couple of years now. I had the privilege to visit it in my capacity as chairman of the Grenada Cultural Foundation. I want to commend the project manager, Mr. Carlisle Glean, for the persistence he's displayed in trying to get this project finished. When it is finished, it can seat a couple thousand people. So it will take care of your mass shows, some of the shows that happen in the car park or the bus terminal. And there are, within the design, rooms that could be used by the community for workshops and lectures and things like that. So it will not be a dead facility. It will not be dead in the sense that when there's no mass show taking place, it's not being used and so on. So that's good. And the community must embrace it and make sure it works for them. Yes, there is need for a proper theatre in Grenada. And from the Cultural Foundation, we are engaging with the Minister of Culture, Honorable Adrian Posueda Thomas.
Yes.
Right, and I'm saying Posueda
because that's his cultural name.
Very deliberately.
Yes.
Right, he has an emotional connection with the creative arts and so on. So we hope, right, this Sister Neela Etienne is the person who is the lead from the Cultural Foundation in exploring a model and a design and a project that could be taken to the government for a proper performance space. And we deserve it. Our artists have labored in the vineyard doing wonderful work, our playwrights and so on. And I think it's only fitting that they be rewarded with a proper performance facility. So there's a space limitation, but we work with what we have. Over the years, we have performed in Crossroads, under Mango Tree. We have performed near a bridge. We have done all these things, open air theater. We have performed in schools, sometimes in brutal conditions, right? But it's a labor of love, and we persist, and we expect to be rewarded.
Okay. All right, as we wrap up, a final breakdown of the show, the times and the locations.
Well, I want to, I want to express my gratitude to some of the sponsors. There are quite a few of them. But, I start with Grenada Trade Center, Mr. Ricky Bido, who is a magnanimous human being. Look at what he's doing with the athletic sports. He's probably the biggest sponsor of sporting activity in Grenada. And just over this last weekend, he had his own classic lighting sporting event. And in Intercall, he had several schools
that he sponsored,
personally intervening to help athletes. This man should be recognized for that. He's one of our sponsors, right? Grenada Core Bank, ever consistently a friend of the performing arts. Again, we are grateful to them. And there are others, Brighton Miners and so on, we have received support from Renwick and Thompson's. We have it was quite a few of them, and some people choose to just buy tickets, right? And they support in different ways. Hubbard's, they help, right? So I want to express our gratitude. I want to recognize, the cast, and I have in front of me a poster. So I'm looking at Robert White, Lisa Grappi, Halim Abdulwali, Win Bob, Karim Alexis, Rose Bagwan, Jude Modest. My son Rene Derriggs is making his debut on stage. Alan Bizinski, who was here last week on interview and so on. Adrian Harford, young man, right? And he also is part of the cast and new to theatre. We have 3 or 4 new actors, in that particular role and in the roles that they're playing. And the show, unfortunately, we cannot run it for the length of time we had it initially envisaged. But it's on the 24th, Saturday 24th, this coming weekend. Saturday 24th and Sunday 25th at 7 p.m. at the Trade Center. And in the following weekend, we are in Grenville on the 31st of May, and the 1st of June. Okay. 4 big shows, as I heard Alan say last week.
Yes.
4 big shows.
And it starts what time?
7 p.m.
Promptly on time.
Well, let me tell you something again. The 2 things in Grenada that are starting on time is theatre and funerals.
Okay.
Yes, man.
That is a place itself. Okay. So, patrons, the tickets cost just $60.
$60, yeah.
And
very affordable.
This weekend and next weekend. This weekend it's at the Grenada Trade Center. Next weekend it's at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. So go on out and support Breaking Out. You will leave with something. Either a belly cramp or a reformation of your ideology.
Well, sounds good to me. Yes.
Definitely. So I was tempted to say something colloquially, but no, I hold back. Mr. Derriggs, it's always a pleasure having you on board, and hopefully we'll see you over the weekend.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
I find if we're blind, we go see.
Yeah, we go see. Definitely. We go see. Folks, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be back after this. Don't you go anywhere.
Heritage Theatre presents Breaking Out, the Grenada love story, featuring Robert White and Lisa Grappi, written and directed by Chris DeRiggs.
But I still love you, Richie.
You love me and you're harming me. 4 big performances, Saturday 24th and Sunday 25th May at the Grenada Trade Center, Saturday 31st May and Sunday 1st June at Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime 7 p.m. sharp.
He's the love of my life, Auntie. You have to marry a man for other things besides love, child.
Get your tickets at Mitchell's Pharmacy in Grandans, Gittins Health and Wellness Wall Street, Gabriel's Pharmacy Pedmata, St. David Pharmacy, St. Andrew Pharmacy, Art and Soul Boutique at Spiceland Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, and GoToFed.com. Breaking Out. Come out and enjoy Grenadian theater at its best.
This ad complements Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited.
Shop with confidence at Courts. Get the lowest prices guaranteed. Get appliances, furniture, electronics, and so much more. If you find a lower price on any other products elsewhere, we'll match the price. Plus, we'll give you back 110% of the difference. Shop with confidence only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
Mobility, a common theme woven into the very fabric of human history. From ancient wanderers to modern explorers, our instinct to move, to seek something greater, and to grow has always driven us forward. Imagine a journey into pathways of boundless opportunities and endless possibilities. A collective future where the vibrant rhythms of the Caribbean, rich culture, and welcoming community create unforgettable experiences. Beyond citizenship by investment, we believe in our collective investment of time, resources, and energy that fosters innovation, creates jobs, and enriches lives, driving the growth of an entire nation. The Investment Migration Agency Grenada boasts over a decade of exceptional service and remains committed to guiding you toward global mobility and economic freedom through investment. Your journey becomes our shared story of progress and prosperity. This is an invitation to be part of something greater, something enduring. Begin your journey at imagrenada.gd. IMA Grenada. Unlock the possibilities.
If you're 50 years and over or turning 50 in 2024, our 50-plus car insurance is perfect for you. It's loaded with free benefits like loss of use, special perils, and windscreen cover up to $2,500. Getting to 50 is filled with ups and downs. Let's celebrate these moments together and look forward to 50 more. Call Beacon Insurance at 440-4447 or log on to beacongrenada.com to get a free quote today. Special conditions apply.
Sporting fans, ready yourselves for the most anticipated Winston Tide games, June 7th and 8th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come support our athletes as they compete with some of the region's best in the field events and on the tracks. Save the date, June 7th and June 8th, Winston Tide games at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Stay tuned for more info. Winston Tide Game 2025.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation. As I told you this morning, we are busy. I've got two representatives here from the Caribbean Single Market and Economy. To my extreme right is Mr. Leo Titus Prevail. He is the director, CARICOM Single Market and Single Market at the CARICOM Secretariat. He joined the Secretariat in September 2020, and he is based in the CSME unit in Barbados. Alongside him is our very own Mr. Aaron Moses, a man laced with humility as always, and it's evident just by the way he's looking at me. And but Mr. Moses is currently serves as Grenada's ambassador to CARICOM. He is a qualified management professional with a considerable public, NGO, and private sector experience, serving at the parliamentary, policy leadership, advocacy, and managerial levels in government, and a whole list of more accolades that would take up the entire time of the interview. But good morning, gentlemen. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah. Okay, fraternal blessings from us here in Grenada to you, our St. Lucian brethren.
Thank you.
And it's always a pleasure to have you. CSME is a very, very critical subject matter. People always have different perceptions about CSME, the Caribbean single market and economy. I personally, I look forward to that day when I could say, okay, I had enough oil down in Grenada. I want to come and eat some of St. Lucian food and have no hiccups. How are plans progressing towards us being able to do that with seamless motions?
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on the program. Well, the CSME stands for the CARICOM, not Caribbean.
CARICOM.
The CARICOM Single Market and Economy.
CARICOM, yes.
Right.
Thanks.
And, our discussions on CSMEs, actually, those discussions actually a discussion on only one component of regional integration. There is a bigger picture. Our community is looking at deepening our regional integration arrangements, and we are pursuing that along 4 pillars. Basically, we have cooperation in security, we have cooperation in human and social development. Examples of that are in our CXC, CDMA, disaster preparedness. And we have cooperation, and we coordinate our activities in our foreign relations. So when we, as a region, a community, there are international matters that come before us. We as a community come together, we come up with a position, and we articulate that position, whether it be in the United Nations or different parts of the world. So we coordinate our foreign policy. And then finally, we look at how do we integrate economically closer. And that is what the CSME is about. So the CSME focuses on the economic integration aspect of our regional integration program. And so when you ask the question, is it easier to move in years ahead? What you're really asking is, from a CSME perspective, is can I do things easier to deepen my economic integration? So when we approach movement of people, we approach it from 2 levels. We say there are people who want to move about in the community just to go and see each other, to go and eat some good ackee and saltfish in Jamaica. That is our facilitation of travel. So as opposed to moving into other countries where we have visas and so forth, we have removed all those visa requirements. So now we move across the community. Once you are a CARICOM national, and that is defined by you holding a CARICOM passport, you can move for 6 months. Enter into any CARICOM country right now without a visa, and you can stay for up to 6 months and not work as a visitor. Or you can move into any CARICOM country right now if you have what we call a skill certificate, and you can work and stay indefinitely. And if you have a wife and children, they too can move with you and remain indefinitely, and your wife can work without a work permit. So we ask the question, what else can be done to make that aspect of our movement easier? Well, the heads of government said, listen, you are able to move and work freely now with your skill certificate. Is it possible for us to be able to now move without necessarily limiting the right to move and work to only those who hold a skill certificate. And that is the focus of the latest intervention of the CARICOM heads of government.
And what, before I come to my friend here, what is the decision, the direction, the decision? Is it going to be a yes?
Excellent. So good question is it going to be a yes? They have taken the decision and say yes, they want to do it. However, to make that happen, like everything else, you need to have a certain level of regulations, because man is born free, but everywhere he's in chains, Good. So there needs to be a certain level of coordination in that free movement. So where we are at now is what we call the skills regime, and we want to move towards full free movement. There were a number of changes that we would have had to make to what we call our revised treaty, the Treaty of Chaguaramas, the revised treaty, to make that legally possible. And so there was negotiation on that. And in the end, the heads decided to use something called a protocol on enhanced cooperation to, facilitate that. And the decision taken in February of this year was that those countries that are ready to undertake that full free movement, they need to indicate to the CARICOM Secretariat that they are ready, and that those countries that wish to do so using that protocol should indicate that by the 1st of June. So at this stage, that is where we are. For those countries that want to move to that full free movement, they need to do that by the 1st of June, and then that matter will be taken up as a body of heads of government now in July, where they will see and they will put that matter to themselves and say, are we ready? Who's ready to move in that direction? I'm simplifying it because I know your audience would not want to hear all the technical details, but just to give you a sense as to how we're progressing. So we are likely to see how many member states in CARICOM will move towards this further free movement by the heads of government meeting in July.
Mr. Moses, as Grenada's representative on that body, is Grenada ready for that?
We're getting there. But I think I need to point out that within the CARICOM arrangement, we do have the LDCs, that's the OECS countries, which is a subgrouping of the wider CARICOM movement. And within the subgrouping, we already have free movement.
Right.
So as it stands now, I can go work in any of the OECS territories, members of the OECS, without requiring a work permit, where I can take my family. So in a sense that the OECS is way ahead in terms of the achieving the single market and economy. But treating the wider body, albeit within the OECS, we are still finalizing a few additional legal arrangements, a few bills to be passed to consolidate the process. So we in the OECS are more advanced than the wider CARICOM. So some of the things that the other CARICOM countries are pursuing now, we have already done. However, we do have a few bits of legislation that need to be assented to broaden and deepen the process. So we are in the process of doing so.
That's from CARICOM or
no, Grenada now.
Grenada. Oh, Grenada.
There are a few bills that are before cabinet right now, and we expect, hopefully, in a week or two, next sitting of the House of Representatives, that those bills will be passed and then go on to the Governor General for assent. So we are actively pursuing that, hopefully, and as my colleague alluded to the fact that the heads have taken the decision that they will go ahead with the countries, that's the plan, when they meet in July, the countries who are ready to begin the process. And hopefully any who's lagging behind will catch up. So, for instance, I could say to you, I've seen communication that suggests some of our colleagues have already done so, or in the process of finalizing the process. So there's great expectation that come July, when the heads meet in Jamaica, that they should be in the position to announce that the process will progress given the fact that a reasonable amount of our countries would be ready.
Okay. Now, notwithstanding the fact that we understand what the LDCs, the less developed countries.
We should say the OECS.
The OECS.
Because we have Haiti and Belize are defined in the treaty as LDCs, but they are not part of that deepened or further free movement arrangement that occurs right now in the OECS.
And that to me is a big concern, especially the situation with Haiti, when I hear regional countries, looking to get Haitians who are fleeing their situation and having this pressure on them. It's concerning. But what is it that the bigger territories within the CARICOM region, what is their hold back in having that full freedom as we have within the OECS? Is it a case of maybe perceived exploitation of their resources, their own resources and so forth? What is it?
I don't know if there is a holdback, I'll be honest with you. I think these arrangements are legal arrangements we're getting into. They're not matters that you go into without doing some internal assessment, because you will have legal obligations when you have gone into those things. So for instance, part of, and I'll be a little more technical now, the protocol that will be used to deepen the free movement arrangement is called the Protocol on Enhanced Cooperation. The protocol requires that for the community to pursue a matter that it determines important, that would advance a principle in the treaty, in this case the principle of full free movement that's articulated in Article 45 of the treaty, the goal of full free movement. It requires at least 3 members of the community to agree to want to do it, and that those 3 members must agree on the terms and conditions under which they are going to pursue that, in this case, full free movement. And they need to put that proposal before the rest of their colleagues, who themselves must also approve of that request. So where and once you have agreed to that request, the request might have conditions. For instance, with full free movement, it is minimum expectations are that anybody moving would have the right to primary and primary education, secondary education, emergency healthcare, primary healthcare. That means you must have your hospitals, your schools in a position to meet that demand if a CARICOM national that's part of that agreement comes to your territory. So it requires you to be reasonably satisfied that you can meet that expectation, because it is now a right. It is no longer an option. So countries, understandably, would want to approach that with a certain level of sobriety, and so that when they make that commitment stands. I should say, in all fairness, it's not it's not just MDCs that have concerns. One member state of the community, Antigua and Barbuda, has indicated that given its current situation, it is unable to participate in that full free movement arrangement. It prefers to operate within CARICOM, within the skills regime, the regime that's currently in existence. So it is not necessarily a fear of exploitation. I think it is more a matter of very conscious and sober reflection as to what are the implications of this, and can we fulfill our commitments having agreed to it.
Mr. Moses, from your experience in dealing with these matters, local, regional, internationally, what does the region stand to benefit? Firstly, if that full movement comes in, and on the flip side of it, what does the region stand to lose if we don't get on that full-fledged?
I think if you recognize our history, our vital statistics, how we structured, we are small island states, similar history, similar geographic circumstances, surrounded by a lot of water, small markets, limited technology, limited finance. What are our prospects of development and growth? We are constrained by a size. Let's look at Grenada, 116,000 people. If you want to start a business, what are your options? Your market is only so much. Given the cost of the inputs that are required to produce a quality product, can the size of the market sustain your operation? I would argue not, depending on what it is. So from that simple example, it suggests that if I have access to greater markets, ability to export to Barbados or Trinidad, the possibilities are enhanced for greater growth. And we can expand that to virtually every sector of the economy. So there are merits in collaboration that will provide greater opportunities and access for employment, for businesses to grow and expand, for maximizing our small resources, collaborating. And that is what many of our associate institutions have delivered, like UWI, the Caribbean Development Bank. Could you imagine Grenada trying to have its own university to provide the training for all the requisite skills that is required to run a nation successfully? So there are tremendous benefits in collaboration. Experience have taught that. Our experiment with Carifta, within 3 years, we had a 300% growth in trade. So tangible benefits have already been delivered. And so there are tremendous merit in collaboration. We are small states, dots on the world map. And if we are to engage and treat with all the challenges that everyone has to contend with, when a decision is taken, as you see in the U.S., one simple decision has tremendous implications for the world and in Grenada. So we have to engage internationally. So our ability to command respect, our ability to gain attention, our ability to treat and engage with this diverse, large world is enhanced if we collaborate and we have joint policies, joint actions. So the outside world can be frustrated having to meet, say, with 15 different countries. And whereas you can meet as a group and, and begin to engage in a meaningful, respectful dialogue between countries. So the benefits far outweigh the downsides, if there are any. And I think that is long well recognized by our ancestors over 70 years ago. And we just have to accelerate our march towards ensuring that we adhere to that old age belief, commit to it, and work together, which has already yielded significant benefits. And if you look at all the functional cooperation areas, some of which he alluded to before, we have achieved tremendous successes as a region, to the extent where we are now respected as a region. For instance, when you go to a heads of government meeting, there are numerous countries who are seeking to attend, to engage, seeking the support of the region. At the UN, for instance, we have 15 votes. That's significant. So if a particular country, irrespective of size, wants to get onto one of the UN agencies, as having a representative, like the Security Council and all that, they require votes. So they recognize that the Caribbean, speaking with one voice, is a very important entity. So there is strength in unity.
Always.
So it's a foregone conclusion. The benefits far outweigh the potential downsides, irrespective of occasions when there are tweaks and pulls. At the end of the day.
Which leads me to another question. Now, when the heads of government meet in July in Jamaica, Antigua has already said that, because of the legal frameworks involved to accept the full package, it would hold on to just the movement of labor, skilled labor and so forth. Do you expect other territories to go that direction?
We don't know. We will see. That's all I can say right now. We will see. The arrangements we have in place so far, they have worked. And your question earlier was, if we don't move ahead, what are the implications? And Ambassador clearly outlined some of them, but there are some that are even more pressing right now. As you see, we have in the region a movement of our skilled people away from here into other countries, and this movement is not happening arbitrarily. We have some of our developed neighbors actually coming in and seeking our nurses, seeking
recruiting them.
Right. So it tells you we have something good. Our quality is there, and nurses and those persons are leaving because they believe there is a better economic prospect for them. If we're able to have easier and make it easier for our skilled people to move, if we're able to have a more seamless single economy, single market, then the whole idea is that our skilled persons would remain within our area, work to build and develop our region for ourselves. If we're able to deepen that component of our regional integration, our economic integration, by making it easier for the human factor to be able to move about, it means businesses should have easier access to skilled labor, and they should be able to produce more, grow, expand, create more employment. So the thinking is that given you have limited skills in any one member state, if it is possible to make that access to skills easier by allowing those skilled persons to move about, then we should be in a better position as a community to grow and expand.
I want to drill down on an example, broaden what he has said. The issue of nurses moving. Healthcare is a significant issue for all of us in the Caribbean. Can we provide all the specialized services that some of our populace may need? That is expensive. Yes, you go to the developed countries and there are all these services, but at a significant cost. So I think our heads have begun to recognize that obviously one of the tremendous benefits that can accrue from this collaboration moving is that we can have centers of excellence within the region. So you say Grenada is a center for expert dialysis treatment, somewhere else for expert on diabetes. Right. And so it means that if we have challenges in procuring the experts in that particular field, our top nurses can focus and go to St. Lucia if you're an expert in the particular field that St. Lucia is specializing on. So a Grenadian who requires that service, that the Grenada government cannot on its own provide those specialized services in 7 different areas, will then go to St. Lucia or go to Antigua or Dominica, St. Vincent to access that particular service. And serving you there might be a nurse from Grenada, a nurse from Antigua, a nurse from Dominica. So there are different models that can work and will work, in my view, and can save us the money and the cost of attempting to provide the training and development and the research that is necessary to deem somebody a particular expert in an area, where each country will have their own, say, dialysis unit, where it's difficult not only to procure but to pay a professional and you're now competing with the outside world. If this guy is an expert, a lot of countries want to access his capacity,
And
so there are differences, models
even
that
the volume, because you to set up, for instance, if Grenada were to specialize in an area, as Ambassador indicated there, given your population size, you need to make a certain minimal investment. And then the numbers you might have coming out of the Grenada population to use the facility will not put that facility to maximum use. So, and just imagine you're replicating that in every country. So we all have systems that are not being used fully. So these are, and that is in the revised treaty. The treaty treats with that by talking about our production integration, utilizing what we have at different member states to come to produce goods in perhaps one member state or 2 member states. And that same concept, not necessarily producing goods, can be applied to provision of services in a sense by specializing in specific areas.
A quick question. I don't know if any of you could, off the top of your head, what's the guesstimated population of the CSME?
Well, we talk in the region of anywhere between 13 and 15 million people. And why? Because and that includes Haiti.
That's good.
Who's the largest? Haiti is about 11 to 12 million.
Yeah, that's good.
So this is the market we have. This is what we have been blessed with. The question is, can we organize ourselves in such a manner to make the best use of that? The focus on free movement of people, as I say, from the perspective of economic integration, you look at people from two perspectives. People moving to provide skills, that's from the economic side of things. But people moving generally is about creating your market size. None of our member states have a population that is significant. Right. If you ask the question, most of us are underpopulated, Ambassador. Yeah. So at least moving people about, making it easier for people to move about. The market, the total size will remain pretty much the same, but you have perhaps some form of redistribution taking place. So this is really what that thrust is about. And as I say, what is perhaps the biggest impediment right now is member states' ability to be sure for themselves that they can meet the commitments that will come with the decision. So that and have in place the administrative, regulatory arrangements which need to be agreed upon by all for that to be facilitated.
Mr. Moses? Ambassador Moses, you were saying something?
No, I was just reflecting that this 16 odd million. Yeah, Haiti alone is around 11 to 12, yes. Jamaica 2.8, Trinidad 1.4, Guyana 800, Barbados just over 3, so it's 16. Yeah.
Okay, well, gentlemen, we look forward to that heads of government meeting in July in Jamaica. And I really do hope that good sense prevails and that the individual governments see the need to try their best to get up to that level where they can meet the required standards and conditions that can accommodate and facilitate that smooth transition. I hope we don't have too many Antiguas in it. I'm seeing a war brewing between Mr. Gaston Brown and Gonzalez with this CBI issue. I hope we don't have too many of these coming. But I really want us as a people in the region to realize that with the trajectory that the world is taking today, it is so important that we as that regional body understand the importance of that block sticking together, gelling, and utilizing the resources that are within, so that we can find what we want within, and the little that we don't have, we have to look out for. But I think we have what we need in the region to really survive.
Well, I want to comment. Your fears or concerns are well founded, but I think we need to go back to his earlier comments that politics is local. There are several sovereign territories, and you have to understand and appreciate your local circumstances, irrespective of your political style and whatnot. Yes, there'll be quarrels, yes, but I think we are mature enough to recognize that people have different perspectives, different views, and sometimes you can err. But in the case of Antigua, from a positive perspective, Antigua is one of the most open economies in the OECS. And in fact, they have the largest foreign populace as an OECS territory. So their borders have been fairly open. They have over 16,000 persons from the Dominican Republic, number of Jamaicans, other Caribbean islands. So their history clearly suggests that they have been open. And so I would like to think that their present posture is a reflection of their experience. and their understanding of where they are at this particular point. They may be struggling to provide particular services, and they need to get a handle on it before they can go further. So we should not just broad brush and say, I think, historically they have done pretty good job in accommodating and importing diverse skills.
It's all about that. It's about each member state having to do its own assessment and to determine whether it is in a place at this time to make that type of commitment, and these are require mature and a very sober reflection to do so. But I did not want us to leave here, Ambassador, if we don't talk about the purpose of the CARICOM Secretariat being in Grenada at this time.
Yes, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that opportunity to slip in that.
Well, I would just quickly say,
I am certain that Ambassador Moses didn't just call you up and say, "Come, let's have breakfast."
Well, he perhaps have done that unofficially sometimes, but officially we're here in Grenada at the invitation of the government of Grenada as part of a series of country missions that we are undertaking as a secretariat with support from the European Union under the 11th European Development Funded program. Grenada is number 7 in the countries we have been to since April of last year, and we intend after Grenada to be in Jamaica in June, which will make it 8 member states. And the whole idea is we're moving as a secretariat into the member states to meet with Ambassador, in this case Moses and his team, to meet with the students, to meet with the private sector, to meet with the opposition, to meet with the NGO community, to meet with students, to get from them their sense as to how the CSM is working, to get a sense in Grenada from the official perspective, what are the challenges that Grenada has experienced in implementing the provisions of the treaty that pertain to the CSME. From the private sector perspective, what are some of the concerns you have? What has worked for you? What are the challenges you see? What are the gaps? So we're doing that in Grenada now for a series of consultations. Yesterday we met Ambassador with the private sector in the morning, and in the afternoon we met with
state sector.
Some of the institutions involving TVET and education and so forth, and immigration and so forth. And the purpose is really to hear, to listen, to document successes, document challenges, examine best practices, and to at the end of the prepare a report that we will submit to the government of Grenada, outlining what we believe are some of the strategies that could be pursued to advance the implementation of the CSME. So we are guests of Ambassador and his team in Grenada this time.
So underpinning the invitation is the fact that we believe that there is a disconnect between the policymakers and the masses of Caribbean civilization.
Who are you working for, actually?
Yeah, and the extent to which we can heighten or contact and dissemination of information that people understand fully. They can connect with the philosophy of development, or the challenges, what are the policies designed to do. And certainly if people are involved at the early stages, the level of commitment, the level of buying obviously will be much greater. And so we strongly believe in Grenada that communication, people, keeping people informed of what is happening is a fundamental policy that has to be pursued if we're talking about driving cohesive support and development for the processes that we're engaging.
Okay, well, gentlemen, we've exhausted our time, but I think it was well worth it. I have a good reason for not getting fired. So I do appreciate the information that was disseminated this morning, and I look forward to that. I really look forward to that result of what is going to happen in Jamaica in July. And I really wish that, in your traversing the various territories, that the information is brought to the people in such a way that they have no choice but to see all the benefits that can be derived from us going along the path that you all suggested. I really like that model that you used with, for example, this example with the health system, having different territories being specialized in different, I really like that. And it can also be moved into, looked at from an the agricultural sectoral standpoint as well. So I really wish that the information is shared with our people in such a way that they have, very minimal holdbacks as to the reasons why we should really go forward as one unit going forward. Thank you again, gentlemen. Ambassador Moses and Ambassador Prevail.
Not ambassadors yet.
Soon to be.
I've not seen it.
Okay, all right. Folks, we take a commercial break. As I told you, we've got an extended version of the conversation this morning. When I come back, I do have a representative from the Rastafarian movement. As you know, they've got a big day coming up, so we look forward to that. We'll be back. It's 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Don't you go anywhere.
Shop with confidence at Quartz. Get the lowest prices guaranteed. Get appliances, furniture, electronics, and so much more. If you find a lower price on any other products elsewhere, we'll match the price. Plus, we'll give you back 110% of the difference. Shop with confidence only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply.
Whether you're refreshing a bedroom or giving your home a bold new look, the Color Shop has the perfect paint and tools to make it happen, inside and out. With quality finishes for every surface and accessories to match, we make painting easy from start to finish. Whether it's a DIY weekend or a contractor starting a brand new project, the Color Shop is the trusted choice.
If you are 50 years and over or turning 50 in 2024, our 50-plus car insurance is perfect for you. It's loaded with free benefits like loss of use, special perils, and windscreen cover up to $2,500. Getting to 50 is filled with ups and downs. Let's celebrate these moments together and look forward to 50 more. Call Beacon Insurance at 440-4447 or log on to beacongrenada.com to get a free quote today. Special conditions apply.
Attention all divers, snorkelers, and underwater enthusiasts. Effective May 15th, 2025, all visitors to the renowned Mullinaire Underwater Sculpture Park will be required to pay a small fee of US $3.50 or EC $10 per person. These fees are essential to support the ongoing maintenance and repairs of the sculptures, as well as the development of new features to ensure the park remains a world-class attraction. Payment can be made through the Grenada Tourism Authority's online payment portal, available on the Pure Grenada website, www.puregrenada.com. We thank you for your support in enhancing this extraordinary underwater product. This announcement is brought to you by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, dedicated to protecting and conserving Grenada's resources for the enjoyment of all. Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
ACB Speed Start, Manage, Expand. Don't call me small. I'm dreaming big. I'm gonna have it all. ACB Speed Start, Manage, Expand. Taking on all my competition. Got the whole bag's attention. ACB, best financial solution. My business has a good reputation. Ready for success? Call us at 444-4919 or visit us at acbonline.com. to learn more. Start, manage, expand your business today.
Sporting fans, ready yourselves for the most anticipated Winston Tide Games, June 7th and 8th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come support our athletes as they compete with some of the region's best in the field events and on the tracks. Save the date, June 7th and June 8th, Winston Tide Games at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Stay tuned for more info. Winston Tide Game 2025.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Mon Rouge Plain Field from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Harbour Bay, and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy, and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. The conversation continues. This is the final lap of the relay in this race. There'll be more in the mid-morning. But I'm joined at this time by my good friend Kwamina Eben. I hope I have it right this time.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, King Innocent. Good morning. Yes. I'm in the presence of royalty. I must recognize royalty when I'm in this presence.
Okay, all right. I feel the same. The feeling is mutual.
Thank you.
The feeling is mutual. Okay, so African Liberation Day is coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, 25th of May. Yeah.
It's an annual event, and what is in store for this year?
Okay, well, this year, African Liberation Day, which has been celebrated quite a while now, since '67, is taking on a new impetus. There's a new energy coming in for African Liberation this year because of global politics, and because there is a rising consciousness and awakening in Africa, led by Burkina Faso and the example of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He has one character trait that has distinguished him from all the other leaders in Africa at the moment, and that is his honesty and the integrity of character. This is a brother which cannot be manipulated by pieces of paper printed by the slave master to regulate. And once you cannot be corrupted, then your vision, however big or small, is possible to manifest. And his example is so powerful, trying to kill him over 20 times. His people have rallied around him so strongly, and the vision that he shares and what he represents. And he comes from a line of martyrs, because before him, Sankara died in the same mission, and he was killed. And now this brother has taken over. It's like we had a Morris Bishop, and the Morris Bishop was killed, and we're still in the painful process of healing before we could actually raise another leader. And you know, the strength of African unity, or the strength of people unity, depends on a nation raising a person of character. You know, so Grenada could probably take a good example and try to raise a young man or a young woman with character that can take up the leadership role of bringing the solutions that we need to Grenada, to the African family, and to the human family. So it's a global effect of African Liberation Day this year. And when Africa owns the resources, when African people benefit from the resources that Africa have, then we could probably talk world peace more realistically. Right? Getting to that point, however, where we're at, we're raising consciousness this year. We're saying Grenada has a connection, a deep connection to Africa. It's time we recognize that. It's time we begin to have social and economic and spiritual and political interactions with Africa to sustain Grenada's, I don't like the word development, people development, right? Our identity cannot begin with slavery, cannot begin with the bottom of a slave ship. Our identity must begin when Africa was a glorious nation and pure. And as I always say, one drop of mud dirty a bucket of clean water. So when you have a pure people, a people who never have crime as an objective, a people who never knew what deceit was, and some other people come in with deceit and crime as their agenda, and deceive, then it's very easy to contaminate. And now we're in a situation where if we don't purify what has been done in the Caribbean and to African people, and if we don't find a solution and resolution as a human family, then the destruction that is being planned with the guys posturing on the edge of nuclear war, then this will be the outcome. So African Liberation Day this year is about not only Grenada, African people, but about saving humanity.
Okay, and the event, where is it being held?
So this is always on the 25th of May, and this year it's a Sunday. It's being held in St. George's Town in front of the Esplanade Mall. We've been kindly offered the space to have these celebrations there. We're asking everyone to wear African dress on Sunday. Whether you're going to church, whether you're coming to the event, whether you're in the community, we're asking people, everyone can't come to St. George's, but if you can, please do. Otherwise, cook a pot in the village, play some drums, say some stories, spread the concept of the African history we do have remaining, spread it to the young people and give them a sense of purpose and connection. So we're asking for that this Sunday.
I like that point that you raised, which leads me to the next question. From traversing around Grenada, do you feel that sense of Africanism throughout our communities?
Tears. The sense of Africanism in Grenada is unconscious. And since the revolution died, since October 1993, the pain of the crucifixion of the 17 people on the fort and the lack of recovery. For some people, when Maurice Bishop died, they were in great pain and sad we lost our leader. For some people, when Maurice Bishop died, there were great joy that the oppression that the revolution had on the cover was stopped. So our people are divided, hurt, and confused since we used to talk revolution and liberation and freedom of Africa and so on. We used to have a national holiday for African Liberation Day. So right now, the wounds of the death of the revolution has caused people to withdraw from openly and consciously declaring and reasserting the African nature to our being. So it's a healing process for us in Grenada. African Liberation Day movement, there was on the 30th of April, there was an international protest march in support of the Burkina Faso experience, and many countries had thousands of people showing up. In Grenada, we had about 8. Thank God we had somebody conscious enough to try to organize, right? So the smallest, we're not looking for size, we're looking for consciousness. It's nice that everyone come on board, or the majority come on board, but we have a remnant. So the Calypsonians have done a great job over the years. I remember people like African Teller.
Yeah.
Let's jump to my head.
Praying Mantis.
Yes, has done a great job in maintaining the African consciousness. And during the revolution, some songs used to be like that. But as I say, our African consciousness is now subdued because of the pain of the experience of the revolution. So in healing, and as we heal, we will again reassert our conscious connection with our source.
Okay. So that event on Sunday in front of the Esplanade Mall, what format will it take?
Okay, so we're taking an exhibition and open stalls. There'll be books, arts and craft, conversation, and some music, liberation music. At 3 p.m., that's from 12 noon. At 3 p.m. we'll have a march around St. George's town with chants and placards and showing support for African Liberation Day and the conscious movement that's happening now. At 4, we'll have official opening and speeches. We have the Ministry of Culture. We have the Grenada Cultural Foundation representative. We have an African speaker from Nigeria that will be addressing us from the motherland this year. And followed the official opening and speeches, we have performances, poetry, dance, drama, singing, and an open mic section. If people want to express, the audience want to express a moment, there's an open mic section, and closed off by the Nyabingi drumming and music. We also will have a film, a screening by Teddy Frederick, we're going on for our Grenada film producers. He's going to film Grenada Cocoa and Nutmeg. We're going to have a showing of that as well, with a short discussion. So it's a fun, fulfilled Sunday evening for the family oriented, and we hope everyone who can make it can make it. Please make your arrangements. We're asking people to arrange with the buses in the area to come on down on the Sunday, 12 o'clock, in front of the Esplanade Mall.
Okay. Well, I know that there are a lot of Rasta men in Grenada and women. Rastafarianism is... at one point, I thought it was fading away, but I'm seeing quite a number of young people. As a matter of fact, last year you had a very vibrant young lady with you here on the program.
Yes, Nature. She couldn't make it this morning, but yes. Yeah, what's happening is that as we see the material image that we've been given from our slave masters, society and its thinking, as we see it not satisfying us and fading, the Rasta consciousness is rising. I mean, it has been there from since slavery days, and since the Maroons run away in Jamaica Hills, the consciousness have been there. What's happening is that there is a lack of organization. Again, in Grenada, the pain and what was done to the torture that was done to Rastas during the revolution, even Rastas helped start the revolution, that pain is healing, is yet to be healed. Is healing. And as the Rastafari organization in Grenada get more and more organized, young people will find a sense of identity through self-knowledge and internal search, and using the example of King Selassie in Africa as a symbolic representation of what is possible when someone touches their divinity. So Rasta and spiritual Baptists are perhaps two remnants of touching divinity as our spiritual teachings. Sorry, but what we inherited in the slave master churches is a confusion and an inculcation of sin as our identity and not divinity as our identity. So the change, this is a fundamental change in terms of Rasta's thinking, that we are divine beings in a human form. We are not sinful beings trying to kill God, right? So that is the appeal, I guess, to young people, answering questions that the slavery thinking in the church system doesn't answer. And Rasta and spiritual Baptists and other non-enslaving philosophies or guidance towards yourself has it. So that's where we are at in terms of a movement.
As we wrap, I want you to finally invite everybody to come on down to the event on Sunday, the times and the location.
Okay, please come on down. African Liberation Day, and if you cannot come, please organize in your village, you're saying. It's Sunday, the 25th of May, from 12 noon on the Esplanade Mall. We're having cultural representations. We'll try to live stream it, so please think Pineapple, maybe GIS. We'll be trying to get it live streamed from 4 o'clock, so you can tune in and see it live, or it'll be recorded. So please come on down, celebrate African liberation, and try to increase your own awareness. There's a lot of reels, there's a lot of information online, search and educate ourselves. And ultimately, we're trying to harmonize the human family.
Kwamina, amen. Always well spoken, and we look forward with high anticipation to the celebration of African Liberation Day come this Sunday at the Esplanade Mall, starting from 12, and a whole lot of activities thereof. So please be a part of it. If you can come, have your own celebration in your village. Remember to wear African wear on Sunday throughout the day.
Yes, beautiful.
It's always a pleasure to have you, bro.
Thank you, bro. It's a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.
Folks, that's it for the conversation this morning. Stay with us. We take a commercial break and the music comes after that.